Hello everyone, I haven't posted a non-short video in a little bit, and there's been a lot of news about Beyond Air, a lot of news from new highs, a lot of approvals coming out, a lot of things, just a lot of things going on. So let's start off with the stock news, I guess. 3 times already, now 60 cents has been kind of like a psychological barrier, like a resistance line. The last time it got close to 60, it bounced and came back down in early October or something like that, I believe, or late October. Now, it went up just before Thanksgiving to 67 and actually closed at 67. And then it dropped back down. And then pre-market yesterday, so today is the 3rd. Yesterday, December 3rd, yesterday it went up to 63, I believe, or 64. And then it dropped back down. And each time it's corresponding to huge buys. And then today, I believe it was just after the market closed or just before, I don't remember. It shot up to just over 70 cents a share, and then came back down to, now it's, as we speak, it's like 54, I believe, cents. Each time it's hitting highs that it hasn't hit before. It's kind of showing that there's a lot of enthusiasm, and it usually happens just after some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, just right after one of these press releases come out or anything like that. Now, first news, what I'm going to talk about is, it was November 26th. It was a press release that came out talking about how the Neuronos, which is a subsidiary of Beyond Air that deals with autism, and there's a whole mechanism with nitric oxide, and I might go into that in a future video. But essentially, Roger Kornberg, a Nobel Prize winner in biochemistry or in chemistry. He's a biochemist who works with essentially pretty much cellular mechanisms and signaling and all that kind of stuff. He was appointed to the Neuronos Scientific Advisory Committee, so that's really good news for that, because he's essentially a rock star when it comes to signaling, cellular signaling. Next is Beyond Air got CE mark approval, which is the European Union version of the FDA. They got approval. Now, this is very big because it means that, because a lot of countries use the CE mark as a guide for their own approval, rather than having this whole process. They go based on the European Union. So countries like Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Philippines, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, and Vietnam, Beyond Air will now have access to those markets because of it, and Europe. So, and a distributor called Getz Medical will be paying $1 million milestone payment to Beyond Air, pretty much, upon approval, and it's got approval. It got approved, so they'll be getting $1 million payment very soon from Getz Medical, and that's an international distributor. Plus royalty payments for, because essentially, rather than Beyond Air building, well, they will be building, instead of them building it, selling it to a hospital, and then servicing and all that stuff, the distributor international, they'll get the units from Beyond Air, and then it'll be up to them to do the sales and service and all that kind of stuff. And they make the money, and Beyond Air will get the royalties from it. But it's big because now they can get revenue stream coming in with a company who is essentially has a financial incentive to increase that revenue stream for themselves as well, without having to work as much with it. And now they can get some money in while they are getting some more hospitals in the U.S. as well. So this is big news. Oh, and just like an hour ago, Beyond Cancer, which is a subsidiary of Beyond Air, um, got approval from essentially the Israeli version of the FDA to do a cancer study based on a combination of nitric oxide treatments with anti-PD-1 therapy. The theory is that the nitric oxide will increase or allow for the anti-PD-1 treatment therapy to work on these cancers and work better than regular anti-PD-1 treatment alone. And again, that should be a video I should be making soon, hopefully, explaining all about that. But essentially, this is another thing because they're working on the cardiac FDA approval, which should be coming in December, somewhere around there. They are which will increase their usage, because that's the thing with this the lung fit unit itself. They charge per hour of usage, so that pretty much if they can get approval for another treatment, that it works, and that means that they can now say, hey, you can use this. Like in the case of cardiac surgery, nitric oxide, anyone who's had cardiac surgery or deal with any sort of cardiac issues, usually you do either nitroglycerin tablets after surgery. It helps a lot to reduce need for blood transfusions and stuff. Or you can use the traditional big, huge bottle, logistical nightmare ventilators to do nitric oxide therapy directly. But that, of course, that has issues. But this will be the first approval for cardiac surgery of this type of this treatment, where it's specifically for cardiac surgery. Now, and then, of course, you have the Beyond Cancer thing. That would be another way that nitric oxide can be used. And finally, you also have they're still working on, well, they're not still working on it. They have it. They're working on getting approval for it. Is an at-home version. And on a side note, I've been posting on Reddit about this company and the things they're doing and so on. And one thing I want to talk, I've gotten some feedback from patients, like patients and nurses and healthcare professionals who use nitric oxide either personally or as a medical professional. And it kind of hit home exactly like that. This is more than just some just investment. This is actually like working to improve lives. The healthcare professional consensus that I found is the logistics and just the costs and everything from the regular big tank nitric oxide treatments has been a really it's a big cost. And if this thing can bring down that cost, especially considering a lot of hospitals, they get lump sum payments from insurance companies, so sometimes they end up eating the costs of certain things. I remember when I used to work in insurance, we would bill, or we would pay for essentially like a lump sum. This is how much it costs per day to have a patient in there, and certain things they couldn't itemize. So anything they can do to bring down their costs will help the hospitals out. And also, I talked to somebody who actually is on nitric oxide in his home. And the thing is, it's a huge tank. There's a lot of logistical issues with it. You have to go to a hospital, get it filled. And essentially, there's a lot of issues when it comes to freedom, essentially, of movement when you have these lung issues and you need the nitric oxide treatment. And he was talking about this would literally change his life if this thing got approved to do at-home treatments, in terms of mobility, being it would be the same sort of change that came about with the oxygen concentrators that they have now, where essentially you can, it looks like a little purse or something, like a purse or whatever that you carry, and you're able to be on oxygen at all times, rather than having to wheel around a tank all the time. So there's a lot of stuff going on. The last week has been crazy. It's been a roller coaster. The stock has been down to like 49. You know, and of course I got to be honest here. There's a threat of delisting, which is in early February if they don't get up to $1. Now there's appeals that you can do, and my hope is that you don't have a reverse split. That wouldn't be good. But there's appeals that can happen if they're getting close. So obviously there's risk in that, and I got to be honest with you with that. The next earnings call is February 12th. So which I don't think it'll be delisted. Otherwise, I'd be out. I think that it will make it to it'll be either close enough where they can appeal it and get an extension. Or it will be over the $1 mark. And that's a big thing. If they can ward off the delisting, I believe that, again, not investment advice, do your own research. I could be completely wrong. I'm just a dude in his bedroom with a cat that has a black wig and bunny ears on. But I believe if they can ward off the delisting, there's, the sky's the limit with this company. Stephen Lisi, the CEO, is I did a lot of research on him and what he has done with other companies, and I believe that between him and the chief commercial officer, and really the chief financial officer as well, because we definitely got to I definitely got to give him a lot of credit, the chief financial officer, for being able to implement the cash savings strategies of the last earnings quarter to be able to really tighten up their finances. Because if you look at the history of this company, before Stephen Lisi came in, he essentially walked into a complete mess, and there was a lot of mistakes made, pretty much from 2015 all the way to 2022, 23. It's been a lot of mistakes, a lot of false starts, a lot of issues. They were sued at one point for breach of contract because they got a payment that an upfront payment for an approval that didn't come because of delays, and so they ended up having to pay that back. There was a lot of issues, and if I were looking at this company 2 years ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, 4 years, I would not invest. It wouldn't have been a good idea. And I did make a little short video talking about all the gurus that were trying to get people into this company within the last year or so, who essentially were oh, they're going to, it was $1 something. Oh, they're going to go to $10, and it ended up going to 30, things like that. But I got in at about 37, I believe, 36, 37 cents. But where they are today, I believe, is definitely worth getting into. In my opinion, don't take that as advice. Don't, do your own research. Seriously though, do your own research. I'm subscribed to their press releases, so I get them as soon as they come out. SEC filings, I get every single one. I've listened to every earnings call since pretty much as far as I think it's 2020. Their earnings call I've been able to listen to. looked at all their filings, everything, and I've even I've looked up the CEO, the CFO, the commercial officer, like their backgrounds, the things they've done with other companies, and again, like, do that. Don't like take my word for it, okay? Like, I post this stuff in here. I could be completely making it up for all I know, for all you know, to just pump and dump this stock. I'm not doing that, but you don't know that. Do your own research. Look up all that stuff. If you really think that you want to get into this stock, and really do that work, weigh the option, the fact that they could be delisted in February. Like, this is definitely a risk. But yeah, that's it for today. Let's see what the next week holds for Beyond Air.